Landforms, Movements and Major Landform. Lesson 13, Class 7. Children, today we are going to learn about landforms and how they are created. The mountains, islands, rivers, canyons, deserts, plateaus and plains that you see are the different types of landforms. And you will be amazed to know how these various landforms are created. Let's look into it in detail. Two forces constantly shape the surface of the earth. The external or exogenic forces like wind and water drive erosion or deposition and make landforms on the earth's surface. Internal or endogenic forces act below the surface of the earth. They include volcanic eruptions, earthquakes and landslides. This video is going to tell you about how endogenic forces create new landforms. Now children, let's go back 250 million years in time. When we didn't have 7 continents, we had only one, and it was called a supercontinent or Pangaea. Who came up with this theory? A German meteorologist named Alfred Wegener. According to him, all continents were once joined together as one supercontinent known as Pangaea, which began to break about 200 million years ago. This resulted in huge areas separating and drifting apart from each other. They formed the continents that we see today. This is known as theory of continental drift. Why did this movement happen? For that, we have to understand the theory of plate tectonics. According to this theory, the crust or the lithosphere is divided into a number of small, large and irregular plates called lithospheric or tectonic plates. These plates are continuously moving but very slowly. They are floating on the molten mantle inside the earth. The tectonic plates are of two types. The ones on the ocean floor are called oceanic plates, and the continental plates form continents. Since they are constantly moving, these plates converge or move towards each other or diverge, that is, move away from each other. When two oceanic plates converge, one plate is pushed under the other. This leads to the formation of deep sea trenches. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean was formed this way. Similarly, when two continental plates move towards each other or converge and collide, because of the pressure created, the crust folds and mountains are formed. This kind of collision is referred to as folding. The upward slope of the mountains are called anticlines and the downward slopes are called synclines. Mountains also are of two kinds. Old fold mountains formed millions of years ago. For example, the Urals in Eurasia and the Aravallis in India. Young fold mountains like the Himalayas and the Alps, which are still being formed by the movement of tectonic plates. Sometimes the movement of tectonic plates create cracks and fractures on the surface of the earth and causes displacement. This is known as faulting. Faulting can happen in three ways. Normal fault, when land between the cracks sinks. The uplifted part is known as block mountains or host, and the subsided portions are called rift valleys or graben. The second type is reverse fault. Here, rocks get pushed up between two cracks. The third type is when rock structures move sideways or laterally in opposite directions. This is known as tear fault. Now children, we will learn about the earthquakes and volcanoes. These are also caused by the movements of tectonic plates. An earthquake is a sudden, violent shaking of the ground as a result of movement inside the Earth's crust and volcanic action. It causes great destruction. The point of origin of an earthquake under the surface is called focus. The point on the Earth's surface vertically above the focus is the epicenter. The epicenter suffers maximum damage during an earthquake. The waves from the focus travel outwards in all directions and are called seismic waves. The study of earthquakes is called seismology. Seismometers or seismographs are instruments used to detect and measure the vibration produced by the earthquakes. The severity of earthquakes is measured either by Mercalli scale or the Richter scale. One of the most severe earthquakes recorded was at Haiti in 2010. It had a magnitude of 7 on the Richter scale. It caused great destruction and damage and affected over 3 million people. Now, let's get to know more about volcanoes. Volcanoes are like vents or openings in the Earth's crust that allow hot magma, volcanic ash, steam, rock particles and gases to escape from below the Earth's surface. The lava that comes out eventually cools and settles around the vent in layers to form a conical mountain. The Deccan Plateau in India, Mount Fuji in Japan, and Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa were formed by such volcanoes. Depending on their frequency of eruption, volcanoes are classified into 3. Active volcanoes which erupt frequently, dormant volcanoes which show signs of eruption, and extinct volcanoes which have not erupted at all but have features of volcanoes. Now you know how endogenic forces have shaped the earth and will continue to do so in future. These changes take hundreds or thousands of years. So children, the next time you see mountains, valleys or any landform, think of the forces that made them. Fascinating, isn't it? Thank you children. Have a good day.